I mentioned that there is a meditative part, more of the reason as a faculty, but there's also the affection. And this I only mention 6 things. So first pointer here when we talk about affect or affection in mental prayer, that our will, the desire, and the heart are more important than what we feel. I would repeat that it's greater depth rather than the sentiments. And the important thing is that the resolutions are formed, the heart falls in love, and the desire is cultivated. And sometimes this may not come through a simple, energetic enthusiasm to do things. Sometimes it's not as sweet as it seems at other prayers. But what we need to focus on in terms of affection is the will, the desire, and the heart. We also mentioned a few things back then in the earlier classes. We are focusing on the conversion of the heart, meaning there's a change that happens in prayer. In every mental prayer, specifically, a metanoia. When you say conversion, it's a 180-degree turn. It's a flipping, it's a changing of attitudes. And if the heart is the one that involved, we cannot fool the heart. The effort is to direct the heart to the Lord. And the heart will be oriented towards God and towards the others. Here in this prayer, there is struggle because there has to be the strengthening of the will. In fact, there's a chapter in the Catechism that is entitled The Battle for Prayer. Now, meaning it also involves, like any true love, genuine love, struggle, fight, determination. So we have to be very careful of prayer in which we are just seeking after, as I mentioned earlier, that sweetness, a good feeling. There's a spirit of ascesis or ascetical effort there in the same. We mentioned this in class number 2, if I'm not mistaken. We are talking about the rapture of the heart, the falling in love, and that's the direction of what we are thinking. We have that new love each time when we pray, a greater intensity, and we look for that. We look for that as well. How would we know that we are doing good mental prayer? So this is one of the pointers that many spiritual authors mention. There's greater rest. There's peace, meaning there's serenity, greater quiet attitude, and there's deeper or a more intense abandonment. Now, ordinarily, if we're doing prayer and we feel nervous, and the backdrop, the entirety of it, the entire balancing of things, we're still nervous. Maybe we will have to train ourselves to seek help regarding how we are praying. And because, in general, when you have contacted God, when you have communicated with Him, there is these results, these consequences, these fruits of prayer. The nervousness, many spiritual authors will also mention, in fact, point towards it may be the devil that is directing everything. Nervousness, tension, conflicts in mental prayer are not good. And it's good to consult later on for a particular case. And in general, it's peaceful because we abandon ourselves to the will of God. You are in charge of my life. You know better. You know what's good for me. And last but not the least, now this one will hit all of us. You've heard of this. Love is deeds, not sweet words. These are elocution. These are words of elocution of Saint Josemaria when he was giving communion. Obras son amores y no buenas razones. Meaning, he was mentioning, I want to love more than this communicant. And he was distributing communion to the nuns. And God whispered to him, you have to show that. It was also part of a literature that he read in Spanish mysticism. But obras son amores, love is deeds. What do you mean by this? If prayer is all about a dialogue of love, then actions should also reflect this love. So a sign that we haven't prayed or we still lack a lot of things in prayer is that when the deeds do not correspond to what we pray about. Now the actions speak louder in this sense than words. We just don't say I love you, but we prove it also in deeds. It's not only about doing the norms, but you follow it up, you prove it really in the ordinary circumstances of your life. It's not just about talking and praying the rosary and then showing a different face to many of our colleagues, being perhaps lacking virtue, etc. So those things show or proofs that we need to pray better, especially on mental prayer.